Hello, friends. It's your buddy Lou Pickney with you here. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition is on the air. Time's up for checking into the tournament for today. This is the BluMint $50 Spy Games 1 tournament for Warsaken, presented by Warsaken and Supra Oracles. So let's take a look at these tournament brackets. They're just generated here moments ago. I'll pull these up on a screen that I can read. All right, well, I'm up at the top left. I've got a matchup with Tissues, one of my regulars from NashvilleLou Live. Tissues and I played just yesterday live on stream, and so we're going to face off here in round one. 2 out of 3 matches will determine who advances to round 2. There are a few people that got first round buys. Soul the Cat, Kiyoshi, Nobu, and Tech. Those 3 are already on to the second round. Kiyoshi and Tech can probably match up soon anyway, as it is, because they both got first round buys. Oh, I take that back. They wouldn't beat up until the third round. Anyway, so top left, you can see where I'm going to be matched up here with Tissues in just a moment here. Top of the hours when the tournament starts. Many thanks to everybody checking this out from the Warsaken Discord. There are some wonderful people in the Discord channel for Warsaken. Greetings also to everyone watching over on BluMint, BluMint.com. They do a great job with these tournaments. I was fortunate enough to win their tournament this past Saturday, but it's not easy at all. Trying to repeat will be a considerable challenge. And so once we're closer to top of the hour, they're going to have rooms created for us within the BluMint Discord channel. In fact, there's already a room there, it looks like. That's me. I presume it is. Room 1, M1. I am top left, so I'll say hello. So we'll get matched up here with Tissues in just a moment, and that will be the start of the tournament. And while we await that, go with the rest of the field. The winner of my match with Tissues faces the winner of Raz Purge and NF Team. Yemiden takes on McCurr Z. DeJohn J takes on Rabbit Larry. That's the top left. Top right, Quadrell against Vano. That's really interesting. 2 good players there. I did for Zeal and Z Blackle. Cammy Reaper against Buzz King. DeMetal 13 against Gabix. That's the top half of the bracket. Bottom half, Aruj against Nathis CGA. Antikilla against Kink Bowas. Rusky Music, as seen on my stream. MNM, or NM Malik, I'm not sure. Some of these letters and numbers I can't quite make out against Ivanov. Winner of that gets Soul the Cat. Bottom right. I might have presented it incorrectly before mentioning Cammy Reaper on that. That is the top half. Bottom half of the bracket. I'm getting caught up on this thing. Hun Alex against Shiloh. Winner of that faces Kiyoshi Nobu. David ERS against Shaira. Winner of that gets Tech. So that brings us to this point right here. Still a couple of minutes out from top of the hour. My next broadcast is scheduled for tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 0200 UTC, early morning Thursday. I'll be playing the new All Elite Wrestling video game, AEW Fight Forever. It's a fun game to stream. I'll have that tomorrow night. Back with Blockchain Brawlers on the day after that, Thursday. It'll be a doubleheader on that Thursday, the 27th, 8 a.m. Eastern, Blockchain Brawlers Tournament, 8 p.m. Eastern, Warsaken Blitz Tournament. So that'll be an interesting day coming up in just a couple of days. You're live on stream with NashvilleLou Live. So we're approaching noon here in Nashville. That means 1 p.m. Eastern. We'll have the start of this tournament. Warsaken Blitz is a fun game to play. It's a fun game to live stream. You can be social and interact with your audience and still play the game at a high level. Some people aren't comfortable in tournaments and live streaming their, because you can see your hand, and that does potentially put you at a disadvantage. But for me, it makes for compelling content. I love these tournaments. I'm very grateful to both BluMint and to Supra Oracles, who's been the primary sponsor along with the games themselves. Many thanks for that. And awaiting word here in the BluMint Discord, just past noon Central, 1 Eastern. So we'll get this tournament started here in just a bit. And I'll have my matches at least live for you here on NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition here on Twitch. So I'm awaiting word from Tissues. There's, I forget if it was 3 minutes or 5 minutes, a little bit of time, but the way they do it with BluMint in these tournaments, they have you check in. There's a 55-minute window from an hour out to 5 minutes till. That really seems to help as far as the no-show rate, keeping that low. Now, inevitably, there will be things that'll creep up that will cause problems for people who have to back out, but especially considering these tournaments are free to enter. They're run well, they're fun to play, they promote the games well. At least the games that I can't speak for each and every game, but the ones that I've played on here, they've looked better, they've drawn in new viewers, people see how much fun it is to play. So we'll have things going here in just a moment. As soon as I hear from Tissues and get the word, we'll get connected. So again, I'm on the top left of this tournament bracket. You see there, be facing off against Tissues 101. I don't know that I've ever seen Razpurge before. An NF team, I've seen that name in at least one prior bracket, but I don't believe we faced off. But it's also possible that people might change their names, and that'd be other surprises. I simply don't know. All right, so greetings and hello to HB, the representative from BluMint in the chat room today, giving the nudge there to Tissues to go ahead and say hello. We'll get connected. So in just a moment, we're going to start this best of 3 first-round matchup. I'm your host, Lou Pickney, playing as NashvilleLou. And this Warsaken Blitz tournament being hosted by BluMint. Typically, I'll prompt my opponent to give me a code if at all possible, just because for most people, it's a copy-paste. For me, I have to type it in. And that's just because of the way my system is set up, where I have 2 computers for this. And for the most part, this setup works pretty well for me, but there are certain situations where it creates some extra inconveniences. These Tissues is typing, so we'll get going here in just a moment. And it's hard to know with this tournament as far as if I'll be out in round 1 or if I'll go all the way and win like I did last time. So it could be a 1-hour stream, it could be a several-hour stream. All right, thank you. Got the code from Tissues. For a moment, bring up the slate. All right. Of course, it helps if I actually would have had that code pulled up in front of me. All right. That's another part of the challenge. But this will work. And so on this screen, I get to choose which deck I want to use. Let me get the OBS Studio pulled up here so I can ensure Tech, hello. So Tech, they got me matched up here with Tissues in round 1 of this tournament.
Warsaken.
All right, here we go. So this is match number 1, a best 2 out of 3 match battle here against Tissues. Two-of-a-kind weather. I'll keep it. If you start getting picky about your starting 8 cards, you can put yourself in a bind. Chasing with a mulligan. Sometimes it works out, though. So I rolled a 6. That's a nice start. Very nice start. 3-of-a-kind WMD right out of the gate. I'll take it.
Select target.
Remember, with Warsaken Blitz, it's the categories that matter, not the specifics on the cards themselves, as far as that your deck, your arsenal of 60 cards. This will have Tissues down to 2 territories. Keep in mind, you can only play 1 WMD per match in Warsaken Blitz. 3 actions to go for the turn. We'll go 2-of-a-kind Freezing Rainstorm. You need 3-of-a-kind to activate in this game, but that's 2-of-a-kind Weather. 1 action to go for the turn. I'll play a Guard Tower. It's a building card. That allows you to pull back from your discard pile. Although I wouldn't want to right now because there'd be no use in having those WMDs back since I can't play them again. Only 1 per match per player. So roll a 3 to start things off here for Tissues. That's a tough break. And you get blasted with a WMD and you haven't had to roll the die yet. But that happens in this game. So Tech, I know you're awaiting the winner of David ERS and Sharia. 3-of-a-kind Intel. So the question is, will be my Warzone targeted? And indeed it will. So it's either that or my Arsenal, my deck. So that's 3 cards sent from my Warzone to my discard pile. 1. And those are the perils of putting building cards out there, because you need the building cards to go back and fetch them. So that was a risk I took that didn't quite pay off. Nothing, though, in my Warzone. Normally, I don't like putting just standoff 1-alones out there I don't have at least a 2-of-a-kind for, but Fire in the Fields I'll play. If I'm going to do it, I'll do it with a weather card. Hello, Soul the Cat. So another one with a first round bye, as I recall, Soul the Cat. So roll a 5. Well, okay, we'll go 2-of-a-kind Intel with a clever hijack. 2 spots open in my Warzone, 3 actions to go for the turn. I already have one of the Guard Towers in my discard pile. So if there's going to be another Intel attack, I can deal with it. 1 action to go for the turn. I'm going to leave it out there like that. Even though I've got that standalone weather, you see how 1-off can get in the way pretty quickly if you don't have anything to match it with. But sometimes it works out, and that's part of the challenge of this game is finding that balance. So I'll end my turn there. It's a roll for my opponent. This is match number 1, best 2 out of 3. So it's a roll of 6 here for Tissues. 3-of-a-kind weather means an extra turn. So 5 actions still to go for this turn. 13 cards in Tissues' hand. See the name Bugsy Kid Wax 1. That's Tissues. Just like for me, it shows your wax address on here as opposed to your brand name. Although I do have that NashvilleLou name, but that's for something different. But that's the best spot for my overlay to go. It's the one place where it really seems to fit. And look at that extra turn to roll a 6. 2-of-a-kind Intel. Another 2-of-a-kind Intel. Standalone weather. 3-of-a-kind Intel. This time my arsenal was targeted. 6 cards were milled from my arsenal and sent to my discard pile. Although one was a WMD, so no worries there. Feel free to get rid of those since I can't use them anymore. So 2 sets of 2 Intel. Standalone weather, 3 actions to go for the turn. 3 of a kind weather, so another extra turn. And it's a weather card. Here's the extra turn for tissues. It's a roll of 1. This is match number 1, best 2 out of 3 in our first round battle. Two sets of 2 out there for my opponent. A roll of 2. Well, nothing makes 3 of a kind. Okay, I'll leave the weather out there. In turn. Maybe I shouldn't have. I don't know. There are still some things with this game that I'm trying to figure out instinctually what makes the most sense. Particularly when it comes to one-offs that are sitting out there like that. Some of it, I guess, depends on what got milled to my discard pile. 3 of a kind intel. This might be another attack here on my arsenal. If my arsenal hits 0, I'll have a compromised leader. An intel-based attack can do that. That's one of 3 ways you can have your leader compromised in Warsaken Blitz. Either your territories all get taken out, eliminated as they call it, your deck hits 0, your arsenal, or you hit 0 morale. So instead it was my war zone that was targeted. A lot of intel opposite me. That's it for the turn. My turn. 6. All right. So I get to go back for 3 cards here, and I can play 3 after I do the 3 of a kind interrogation facility. Look at what's in here. D8 or DX8 and a Z27 Tiger. I could use I could use one of those. A Tiger. If I went for 2 intel, the Clever Hijack to match the 3rd out there. I think I have 2 in here. So I'll go 2 Clever Hijack, 1 Z27. I think that's the move. This is part of why intel games can take so long. When you're getting attacked like this, it takes more time to go through and do your proper due diligence. So the 1 Z27 Tiger. I'm taking both of the intels. 3 actions to go for the turn. Intel time. Haircut time. 1 off the top for each of the 3 out there.
Select target.
We'll drop these intel card sets from 2 down to 1 each.
Select target. Select target.
1 action to go for the turn. I'm hesitant about putting this 3 of a kind out there, knowing that I already have been targeted a couple of times by intel attacks. So with this, I'll go with the standalone weather, and that will end my turn. This is match number 1, best 2 out of 3 in the first round of today's BluMint Spy Games 1 tournament for Warsaken Blitz. Is a roll of 1. So a pullback of 1, and that's it for the turn. I posted the link to BluMint in chat. Roll of 1. Well, I can play that second ideal conditions. And that'll be it for my turn. I have 25 cards in my arsenal, my deck. If that hits 0, at that point I'll have a compromised leader. Once your leader is compromised, all your opponent has to do is play 3 of a kind force, take out your compromised leader, and win the match. That's the way it works in Warsaken Blitz. And I have the categories listed there along with their associated symbol for a good reason, because that helps you to identify the cards at a glance. So roll 2. Two of a kind weather in the turn. My turn. 5. All right, we'll go 3 of a kind with a Z27 Tiger.
Select target.
This will leave my opponent with only 1 territory remaining. Two actions to go for the turn. I'm very hesitant about putting any sort of 3 of a kind out there in like a split up form, which is what would happen with this. So instead I'll go 2 of a kind intel with a planted device, and that will end my turn. It's Tissues' turn. It's a roll of 6. So 6 fresh cards and 6 actions here for Tissues. Looking through my discard pile, seeing what is and isn't here. So it's 6 actions here for Tissues, my opponent. This is our first match in a best 2 out of 3 round 1 battle in today's BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz, the $50 Spy Games 1 tournament. Building cards, that's 3 of a kind building cards. It's going to be Intel or Weather, which... Remember that haircut that I delivered earlier? There's still some of that Intel out there, so that could be used to then attack either my war zone or my arsenal. It could be 3 of a kind Weather to get an extra turn. There's a few different options here for my opponent. So 3 of a kind Intel. The question is, will you go after my war zone? Will you go after my arsenal? If it's my arsenal, I'll be down to 14 cards remaining. Interesting move. That's it for the turn. My turn. 1. Well. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to put those out there to get targeted. Oof. Like a burn notice. Intel, and they'll end the turn. I have 19 cards left in my arsenal. If that hits 0, at that point I'll have a compromised leader. On the flip side, my opponent has 1 territory remaining. If I can make 1 3 of a kind play here, I'll take out that last territory, and then my opponent will have a compromised leader. Once your opponent has a compromised leader, all you need is 3 of a kind force to get the win. There's a triple attack there. Intel against my arsenal, milling 6 cards. I'm down to 13. That's it for the turn. My turn. 2. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. I'm not putting that out there piecemeal style. No way. Play a burn notice. Look at these weathers in here. These ideal conditions. Well. I'll do a pullback on the planted device. That will end my turn. I have 11 cards left in my arsenal. If that hits 0, I'll have a compromised lead. It's a roll of 6. My goodness. So this could be big trouble for me here. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition, 3-of-a-kind intel. I'm down to 5 cards in my arsenal. If there's 3-of-a-kind for that intel and then another 3-of-a-kind force, I'll lose the match right here. And Tissues will go up 1-0 on me here in this best-of-3 first-round battle. Instead, it's building cards. It's either going to be intel or weather. You wouldn't use building cards to get building cards. That would be counterproductive. One action to go for this turn. There's the 3-of-a-kind weather, so an extra turn. 3. Three-of-a-kind intel. I have no cards left, so I've got a compromised leader. This is big trouble for me here. 6. But I don't get any cards. And it's a huge problem now, because I've got 3-of-a-kind force, but I don't have a second 3-of-a-kind. It's all there in the trash can that I can't get into. The discard pile. So I've got basically no way to win at this point. I mean, I have my opponent with a compromised leader, but what am I going to do about it?
Select target. Compromised.
Like I'm drawing dead, and that's a weakness here in this game. This particular point, when you've had intel, you're still playing, but you've got no point to it. I'm like the 2002 Devil Rays in September. You're just going through the end of it. But that's part of it. And it's best 2 out of 3, so I'll just end the turn there. Like, there's nothing I can do to make 3-of-a-kind force, and my building cards, I don't have... There's nothing left in my deck. My arsenal's at 0. The milling worked. It's a roll of 1. So we'll drag this out even longer. Like, I have no way to win. There's no point in doing this, but I have to go through the motions. You know? So forget it. End the turn. I'm just gonna keep dragging this out. Good grief. There's nothing I can do. I mean, it's completely pointless. Maybe there's 3-of-a-kind. Maybe you'll get 3. You can roll here and get your force cards and get the win. Warsaken, thank you. Thank you for the cheer. Thank you. Thank you. I need to be cheered up there after the intel. They'll put you in a sour mood fast. 3-of-a-kind force. That's the match. Congratulations. Tissues leads 1-0. And look, I've dealt out plenty of intel-based attacks before. This is not me getting mad at Tissues about it. It's just, it gets frustrating when you know you can't win at a certain point, but you have to keep going through it. So Tissues leads 1-0. I'll bring the slate up here for just a moment. Tissues leads 1-0. I'll pull up the tournament tree again. Take a quick glance at that when we get the next connection going here. So it's 1-0. Tissues has a lead on me here in this opening round best of 3. Say ready if you are. For match number 2. Match 2. Putting the number sign in there. Discord didn't like that. So as you can see, there were 3 people who received first round buys, and that's a random draw. Sometimes you get lucky with that, and sometimes you don't. And so, at the moment, we haven't had any first round matchups that have gone final. Of course, to be fair, this matchup just ended here. Let's see. Right. All right, I'll send the code this time over to you. So right now, Tissues leads 1-0 here in this best of 3 first round matchup. Had a lot of fun yesterday with the Warsaken Blitz live stream I had. I went more than 6 hours with it. Gave away, what was it, 5 booster packs. Many thanks to Warsaken for providing it.
Warsaken.
And here we go. This will be match number 2 in our best 2 out of 3 first round battle, taking on Tissues. Tissues won match number 1. I have to win 2 in a row. I'll be out of the tournament here in the opening round. Not too bad. 2 of a kind force. I'll keep it. Roll 5. It's 2 of a kind weather for my opponent, and that will end the turn. My turn. The game randomly chooses who gets to go first in a given round, in case you were wondering. So nothing to make 3 of a kind, but I've got options here as far as 2 of a kind. We'll have some force here. 2 of a kind Specialist Upton, 2 of a kind Hammerhead, 2 of a kind XTT, and that'll end my turn. This is Warsaken Blitz, NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition, playing in the opening round of today's BluMint Spy Games 1 tournament for Warsaken Blitz. There's 2 of a kind Intel. That's it for the turn. My turn. 1. But it does give me 3 of a kind force.
Select target.
So 3 of a kind force will take out one of my opponent's territories. And that's it for the turn. Many thanks to the Warsaken for that cheer. I really appreciate that. Very generous of you. Roll a 5 here. I love playing this game. It's so much fun. I know I got frustrated at the end of that first game. It's tough when you are in a helpless position or it feels helpless. But that shows you the power of a well-played Intel deck. It didn't matter what kind of plan I had there. Just wasn't going to happen. Once that arsenal hit 0, so with the extra turn here, a roll of 5. So if there's a 3 of a kind building, that could be going back for weather, trying to churn through there and get to those intel cards, start going after my deck. There's 3 of a kind, so you know it's going to be weather. That's all that's in there right now. You got 4 actions to go for the turn, so the 3 weathers will give you an extra turn with 1 action still to go for this one. At least that would be my anticipation here. You never know. Well, I say that there's 3 of a kind intel, which is a curious decision. 1 action to go for the turn. Three of a kind weather. Extra turn. Well, that's one way to do it. Hi, JHU leader. Hello. This is a tournament play here. There's the link for the tournament information. 3 of a kind weather. Another extra turn. Good grief. Here we go again. 1. That's it for the turn. My turn. 1. Well. Play an assassination attempt, an intel card. And that will end my turn. Oof. If there's not a queue today, this isn't player versus player. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. So it's a roll of 5 here for my opponent. Taking on Tissues, who leads 1-0 in this best of 3 first round battle. 3 of a kind weather. It's a bonanza of extra turns. 3 of a kind intel. Going after my war zone as opposed to my arsenal. Extra turn, number 55. 5. It only feels like 55. So if I lose this match, I'll be out of the tournament. 3 of a kind intel. This will probably go after my arsenal. Yep. Gonna mill 6 cards out of my arsenal. It's my discard pile. 2 actions to go for the turn. My turn. 6. I mean, it's been that kind of match for me. Just brutal. All right, well, pull back the XTT. Let's see what's down there. I should have looked at this before I started doing that. I already have one of those in there. But I have 2 hammerheads. So there's really no point in having the hammerhead out there. It'll just be in the way, unless I go back for it. Well, maybe it'll be targeted by an intel attack. 2 of a kind weather with the blinding sandstorm. 3 actions to go for the turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. 2 of a kind cloud cover. And actually, I will go ahead and pull back that hammerhead, and that will end my turn. It's a roll of 1. Building card. That ends the turn. My turn. 1. I don't even know what to say at this point. Time detonation. Look, I caught a lot of breaks in the last tournament. I'm acutely aware of that. Roll 2. And there's also this reality that as long as you have, well, as long as you have cards in your arsenal, but as long as you have at least compromised leader, if you still have it in play, you still have a chance. 6 more cards targeted out of my arsenal to my discard pile. 1 action to go for this turn. Weather card. That ends the turn. 6. You've got to be kidding me. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. 5 actions I'm not going to use in my turn. I only have 13 cards left in my arsenal. And it's a roll of 6. Rubicon Intel. That's going to have me down to just 7 cards left in my arsenal. If that hits 0, I'll have a compromised leader. 5 actions still to go here. Rubicon Intel. I'm down to 1 card left. I have no chance here. I'm dead. I can't get back in my discard pile. Very dissatisfying. Like, there's nothing I can do here. Nothing. I can roll a 1, so I mean, that's par for the course the way this entire match has gone.
Leader compromised.
Yeah, if you need an update, there's also that. Leader's compromised. I'm not going through the song and dance. Good game. I'm out.
Leader eliminated. Defeated.
I was drawing dead at that point. I'm not going to waste my time playing a game when I'm drawing dead. So congratulations to Tissues, who advances. So that happened. Exceptionally unsatisfactory ending, but that's life. So I'm out of the tournament 2 straight. I lost to Tissues, who advances to round 2. I'm peeking in at this tournament tree. I'm not going to stay on for just a long time, but I will go through the very latest as far as what the tournament tree reflects with this tournament, and then you can continue to follow the coverage, whoever else is live streaming here over on BluMint or elsewhere. So I'm out. I lost to Tissues, who will be shown to advance soon on that tournament tree. Antikilla advanced past Kink Bowas, so both Rusky Music and I both lost in round 1. Shiloh was victorious over Hun Alex. Will face Kiyoshi Nobu. Buzz King beat Cammy Reaper. Vano victorious over Quadrell. And so that's the information as we have it here. Moonbaz Marty says, dang, I slept in. Yeah, that's a tough one. But I might as well slept in the way it turned out for me there. 2 straight falls, tissues with those intel decks. I mean, it's a really unsatisfying way to lose. I don't mind losing to a regular deck. I mean, it wasn't like it was anything out of the ordinary as far as that intel goes. It was just that particular combo, back-to-back like that. Oof, not fun. But that's how it goes sometimes in this game. RNG plays a huge part in it. I thought I was all set up for that knockout shot in match number 2 against Tissues, or whichever one it was, where I had that 3 of a kind there for seemingly half of the match, and I couldn't play because I kept rolling 1s and 2s. So it can get frustrating, but again, that's part of it. I won the last tournament in this one, out in round 1. So that's what we're looking at right here with this BluMint $50 Spy Games 1 tournament. And normally I like to go at least an hour with these. I'm only 47 minutes in when you include the big lead in. But there's always another day with this game. So I'm out here. Thank you. Good luck in round 2. All right. I'll go ahead and post one more time in chat the link there to the BluMint page with today's Warsaken Blitz tournament. So if you want to check out what's going on there in the tournament as it unfolds here into the afternoon, Nashville time at least, afternoon, then you can do so there at that link. But I'm out. Tissue's victorious over me. That intel deck, just brutal. But you'll have that sometimes, and ultimately it's a game. So, you know, the game like that, you're going to have sometimes where you get a lot of luck, like I did this past Saturday, whenever it was my last tournament was. And then with this, out in 2 straight matches, and that's just how it goes. So good luck to Tissues, on to round 2. And this is where I'm going to say goodbye for this broadcast. That's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.